What kind of person could be able to afford a yacht with a basketball court? A yacht with a full diving and fishing center? A yacht with not one but two margarita makers? Well, none other than Michael Jordan, of course. After all, I hear that flick Space Jam paid pretty well. Oh, and the 15-season NBA career earned him a pretty penny or two also. Today, we're going to take a look at the insane yachts that Michael Jordan spends his time on, including an incredible $80 million one. We'll explore their features, their cost, and what exactly old MJ spends his time doing aboard. Despite being one of the most recognizable and prominent athletic figures for the past 30 years, Michael Jordan has surprisingly been able to retain a fair amount of privacy. Most recently, his airness passed on an opportunity to be interviewed that would take place in his mansion in Florida, strictly because he wanted to keep his home private. And truly, I can't blame the man. Privacy is something of incredible value that can't be earned back once it's lost. I mean, why do you think you've never seen my face? But this home isn't the only thing that Michael Jordan has tried to keep private. While he's a huge fan of yachts and is frequently photographed aboard them, there has been little information released on the yachts he actually owns. And with a net worth of $1.6 billion, you can bet he owns a nice one. Mr. Terrible. First, let's start with Mr. Terrible, which is far, far from terrible. The yacht has been connected to Michael Jordan for quite some time and hasn't been available to charter for a few years now, so I'll let you do the math. Mr. Terrible has everything you could want in a super yacht. It spans an impressive 154 feet, about the length of 1.5 basketball courts. It has a range of 2,700 nautical miles, which means Michael Jordan can zip around the Caribbean for several days with ease, and believe me, he does it quite often. And though the specs of the boat are impressive, it's what's inside and on the decks that's the real money maker. On the Fly Bridge, there is not only an open steering station, but a full area for entertainment and relaxation that is brimming with opulent details. There's a hot tub within reach of a wet bar. I mean, really, what more could you need? Well, perhaps a 50-inch plasma screen TV that is retractable, giving you an option to either enjoy the tropical views or watch, well, I don't know, Space Jam perhaps. You don't even have to worry about lifting a finger to find the remote while you lounge against the hot tub jets, because the remote is waterproof and floats in the water for easy reach. And if that's not the definition of luxury, I don't know what is. Of course, this isn't the only deck where fun in the sun can be had. On the aft deck, there's an area for al fresco dining, and further down on the main deck, there's a fishing cockpit. The fishing cockpit includes a live bait tank and large rod lockers, which is perfect for Michael Jordan, who is actually an avid fisherman. But if anyone wants to get even closer to the action, there's a dive center on board the ship as well. The dive center includes a nitrix dive compressor and 6 full sets of diving gear on board, which means he could dive with all 5 of his kids. However, if he'd rather send his wife Yvette in his place, there are underwater cameras on board to see the action below deck without having to hop in the ocean. The interior of this yacht is tastefully decorated in a Polynesian style combined with Art Deco touches for a truly unique experience. There are dozens of entertaining areas, including a dining saloon with room for 14. In the saloon, a spiral staircase serves as a focal point, crafted of bubinga and stainless steel. The lounge area on the other side of the dining table would be the perfect place to kick back and have a cigar, which appears to be one of Michael Jordan's favorite pastimes out on the open sea. For the end of the night, or middle of the day, I suppose, there's a full bar with plenty of room for company. And if the company takes the drinking to its full potential, there's room for at least 12 people to stay overnight in lush staterooms. Not only is MJ the king on the court, he's the king of hospitality with guest accommodations, which all feature in-suite bathrooms and lounge areas. But of course, he saved the best for himself. There's a massive skylight with an oceanic mosaic and an in-suite with a luxurious copper soaking tub and wood basin sinks. Mr. Terrible is estimated to be worth about $21 million, which would hardly put a dent in Michael's fortune. Now, Now, it's time to take a look at the big one. The yacht that Michael Jordan has been linked to and photographed on that is priced at a whopping $80 million. And while Mr. Terrible doesn't really describe the experience of setting out on the open seas, the $80 million yacht Joy has a name that really suits what it offers to the owner, because this yacht has everything. At 229 feet long, Joy dwarfs Mr. Terrible and is sure to do the same to almost any yacht in any harbor. The ship is also fairly new, having been built in 2016. Over the 5 decks on board Joy, there are layers of luxury and surprises to be found. The main feature, of course, and probably the one that drew Michael Jordan to this yacht in the first place, is the basketball court on deck. The court is on the foredeck, giving him an ideal place to run a few plays with his kids. I mean, can you just imagine cruising through the Caribbean and being able to play a game of basketball as you sail across the sparkling blue waves? It just sounds magical. Well, that being said, if he isn't in the mood for basketball, which surely isn't often, the foredeck can be converted to a games deck for nearly any sport, including badminton and football. One of the main features of Joy is its versatility and ability to adapt to indoor and outdoor living. The foredeck and all 3 aft decks can be enclosed in glass during colder months or in inclement weather, so you're always able to use the entire ship, no matter what Mother Nature has in store. Most of the indoor spaces are encased in glass sliding doors, which means Michael's wife could sit inside the lounge with a drink and still talk to her kids out on the basketball court. The best of both worlds, truly. The game deck directly connects to the owner's pavilion, which includes an impressive master suite with 270-degree views of the water, his and hers bathrooms, as well as an owner's office and a private owner's lounge, offering the utmost privacy, even when friends are aboard the ship. And certainly, you'll have friends aboard the ship. There are 7 cabins, 2 VIP staterooms, 4 double cabins, and a twin cabin, which provides enough room for 12 guests. The bathrooms all feature granite accents and rainfall showers, which creates a spa experience for everyone. And speaking of spa experiences, this yacht has a spa, which is complete with a jacuzzi, sauna, and a treatment room where guests can get massages and facials. There are dozens of living areas and lounges aboard the ship, but none shine quite as brightly as the main lounge. The main lounge has a bar and custom furniture crafted in warm colors to create a cozy yet luxurious space. One of my favorite lounge areas, however, can actually be found outside. On one of the aft decks, you'll find a jacuzzi and sitting area with a wet bar. And I bet you'd know exactly where I'd be spending most of my time aboard the ship. Although there is one area that's just a bit cooler. Imagine you're Michael Jordan and it's Saturday night. You want to get down, but you're hundreds of miles offshore on Joy. Well, what do? You could head up the elevator into the beach club. There you'll find an entire space dedicated to entertainment. The flooring and lights convert into disco lights, creating a private club-like experience no matter where you are. And during the day, when you're fighting the hangover from dancing in the beach club from the night before, you can enjoy the cinema room. The room features video walls where you can curl up with a movie or play some video games. Don't worry, it comes with big beanbag chairs, so you'll be as comfy as possible. If everything on the boat just isn't enough, there are plenty of ways to enjoy the open sea. The yacht comes with inflatables, including a slide that extends from the top story all the way down to the water. There are also multiple tender boats, 2 wave runners, 4 seaboards, 5 paddle boards, kayaks, water skis, wakeboards, trampolines, and fishing and scuba gear. In other words, no one that steps foot on the ship is going to be bored. So, the experience is in the name, Joy. And even if Michael Jordan doesn't own the $80 million yacht, he at least has chartered it quite a few times, and that isn't a small feat. Joy was last reported to cost $600,000 per week to charter. If he chartered the ship for a month, it would run up his tab a whopping $2.4 million. But when you're worth over $1 billion, you'd probably be willing to pay that to play basketball out on the open seas. So, there you have it, some of the yachts owned by one of the greatest athletes to ever live. Which one do you prefer? Which of these yachts did you think was the coolest? Do you think Michael actually owns them, or is he just renting them for show? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Oh, and of course, turn on post post notifications. As always, I'm Mr. Luxury. Pip pip to doodly doo.